Imagine a life where you are fully present, truly focused, and have a deep sense of calm. That is the promise of a digital detox. So let's discover how to intentionally disconnect from the digital world to create a better sense of connection, concentration, and a lot of peace of mind. Hi again, everyone. My name is Jessica, and I'm a licensed professional counselor and yoga teacher here in Texas. And let's talk about digital detox. If we need it, how would we do it? What are the benefits? I realize that the deep irony of this is that I am recording this on my phone. You may have found it on your phone, on your computer. So it's through these digital means that we find each other. And I think it's really important to realize that these things are valuable tools. They allow us an amount of information and connectivity with others that we've never had before. And there's a wonderful thing about that. But like every tool, it can be used to create something, or it can be used to destroy something. And when it comes to our digital stuff, our digital tools, the thing that we are potentially destroying is our ability to manage emotions, to stay connected, indeed our very consciousness, our awareness itself, because we are constantly bombarded with a million messages coming through social media, coming from maybe things even through work, through our phone, little notifications, pings, we're constantly connected. It really impedes our ability to be in the here and now. And when that happens, we are becoming separated from some of our higher functions as human beings. That ability to be conscious means that we can attain some of those higher functions like love and creativity and inspiration. Even to be connected with something greater than ourselves, the divine, is dependent on us being able to be more present, more aware, and less distracted. So phones, digital stuff, for all of the wonderful things that they can do for us, we need to go into our relationship with the digital world with eyes open and with an awareness that this is a powerful tool. Like a hammer, I can use it to build a house, or I can use it to smash up something, and we need to be conscious of what we're doing. So why would we even need a digital detox? If you tune in with yourself and you are noticing your relationship with your phone or your computer or any other digital things that you're using, video games or whatever, we're really noticing sometimes how the brain is always on. It's like the nervous system is always on. And it's overwhelming for your system, the system that you are, your nervous system, to be constantly having either stimulation, even if that's something that seems interesting or exciting or funny, or even, especially stimulation where it's taking us down to the negative, something that's scary, something that is anxiety provoking, and then just small amounts of stimulation too. Little pings here and there. You have a message, you have a phone call, you have an email. All of these things are a mental load for us to take, and many of them also create an emotional load. We have to have some kind of off-ramp for this, or else we are going to be extremely overwhelmed, or our nervous system will be anyways, because it's constantly being stimulated and switched on by everything that's going on. There's no kind of downtime, if you will. We can also use our digital world in a way to escape. So the old doom scrolling comes out when maybe we are feeling overwhelmed about something else. Sometimes we don't even know what it is that we're feeling, and we find ourselves just in that loop of looking at the next video, the next post, the next thing, just looking, and we're getting a little bit of a hit of something feel good, a bit of dopamine or something like that, of like, oh, I've seen a nice picture, I've seen something interesting, but it very quickly goes away, and we're habituating our body to get that quick little hit and then constantly look for the next thing. So we're also not learning how to live in the calm, the quiet, and the silent. You may know people, you yourself might find that if you reflect on your experiences of feeling more anxious, feeling more overwhelmed, and noticing how you're relating to digital things during those times, that they play a big part in that. It is certainly much more difficult when we're feeling anxious, sad, overwhelmed to put this thing down that creates a little bubble around us and to engage with our world. So one of the guiding principles in helping you to consider where you want to go with a digital detox is to think about the cost. What is the cost to you, your well-being, your peace of mind, your concentration as you engage with your digital world, with your phone, with your computer, and such? One thing to consider is the levels of concentration. The rise of quick media, quick videos, very entertaining social media and platforms like that have shown to impact how our ability to concentrate. Our ability to concentrate as human beings has really gone down quite a lot, and you might notice in yourself that if you're struggling with concentration in other areas of your life where you need it, you might consider that that might be a cost to you, and that digital detox might be a way to build that concentration back up. Another cost might be around our relationships, our connection with others. I had an experience a couple of years ago, just side story, where I accidentally had my phone in my pocket and it went through the washing machine. And I was nearly 2 weeks without a phone. And it was just fascinating to look around, even when I was with other people, and realize how much of our time we're with someone, but we're actually looking at this screen in our hand. And some of that might be completely understandable. You want to show someone something, you've had a phone call come through, something like that, but there is a cost to that. You know, even if the phone call seems, or the text or the email seems very vital, if it's interrupting that connection with the person, sometimes that isn't just a nothing, that comes at a cost. There's also, the escapism that these digital means offer to us. So if social connection, which is uneasy, we never know what the other person is thinking, what they're feeling, if that is becoming a little bit uncomfortable and we can reach for this thing and it makes us feel suddenly a little bit more at ease, then we're going to be creating this feedback loop where every time I feel uneasy, I reach for this. And that can be the same thing, like with our doom scrolling. We're feeling like we've had a long day, we're feeling unhappy, we're feeling anxious, and we just find ourselves reaching for this thing. And on our digital devices, there are plenty of things to take us out of our world, and that can easily become a feedback loop where we're getting a very quick little hit of feel good, but not solving the problem of how do we connect, how do we stay with these emotions, stay in the moment, and learn what the moment is trying to teach us. We hear a lot about the light from the screens, the blue light, and certainly the other things that are affected are our sleep, definitely our mental health. I often find too that with eating issues, like I work with eating issues a lot, body issues a lot in my therapy practice, that having the screen going while you are eating is super detrimental to you being able to tune in to your body's signals. Am I full? Am I hungry? What is it I need to eat? So there's just a range of physical and mental health problems that come from that digital input going on constantly in our lives. So let's get down to the crux of it. How to do it. You can be flexible with yourself. There's no perfect or correct way to go about this. But if you are motivated to find better concentration and deeper connections and greater sense of peace and ease, then here are some ideas, and you can definitely work with them for a little bit, be flexible, but also find something you can commit to so that you can really see what the outcome is in your life. So an example of a practical step that might work for you is to have a look at your day and think about, could you have a sort of curfew, a cutoff point where after that point there's no phones? Or maybe within your day there are no screen zones, be that maybe when you eat, or maybe we practice, when we are sitting with someone and talking to them, that the phone goes in the pocket or in the bag and doesn't come out until you're done in certain situations. I understand with work, sometimes you might be expected to be there, but there is a time when you are not working, and that might be the time to really switch it off. Use the phone's functions, having a look at your screen time use, deciding from that, when are the times when I am just doing a nothing activity on my phone? Am I just doing the doom scrolling or just watching endless videos or something? And maybe I could just cut a little bit off there. Or maybe deciding that there are times that you're going to indulge and keep it to a short period of time. And that way creating a few boundaries and parameters that you can try to work with. Another powerful experience, like my washing machine example, is to create scenario situations where there is maybe a bigger chunk of time that is a no phone, no tech day. It could be half a day. It could be a whole weekend where you say, you know what, there's not going to be any digital stuff consumed at this time. And although I know, right, you probably are feeling like, how would I do that? That is the sign that we need to do it, though, because for eons, human beings live without these things, and we are missing out on something that's very essential in the human experience if we are so tied to these things. So, it could be that you are a kind of a, tough it out kind person, and then maybe set yourself a day or a weekend where you think, yes, I'm going to just try to have no digital stuff during this weekend. If you need to build it up a bit more, then maybe think about going for like an hour with nothing, and then building up to 2, and then maybe you're building up to 6, and then maybe you find a weekend. You could link this with your connection with others, maybe planning time with your family or planning something to do outside where it's going to give you something else to focus on, something to experience with your senses to help you to get through that time that might feel a little bit weird without your digital device. And on going from the macro, like whole days and whole weekends, you could think about very, very minor, and just think about replacing your digital time, your scrolling time, your social media time with some other kind of intentional activity that does feed you. What are some hobbies that you haven't done in a long time? Who is someone that you haven't spent time with in a long time? When's the last time you were outside and just watched the trees or listened to the wind or just had nothing but the sound of your footsteps on the ground? So it could be something that you do intentionally, and you just keep your phone to the side or leave it at home while you do that one thing. And when you get back, then you carry on with your day and your normal digital habits. So along with that, let me equip you with some ideas for what you're going to encounter and how to combat that. Your 3 kind of areas that we think of when we are combating a problem: what's going on mentally in your thoughts, what's happening physically in your body, and what's going on emotionally. There's going to be experiences in each of those 3 zones, and what I would recommend is, when you decide to unplug, be that for 10 minutes or be it for a few days, to take the stance of an observer. Almost imagine yourself observing all the internal occurrences from a, not a detached, like, I don't care about you, but just taking a little step back so you can see everything. See the thoughts that are going through your head and see them as just thoughts rather than it's me or it's something to run away from. Same with feelings rising, feelings falling, just noticing and being curious about what is the experience of this like. And with our body too, tension, relaxation, even physical pain or feeling good in some area, just noticing. And maybe you're going to get a little bit of information about the times when you are really looking for that phone, your hand habitually going into your bag or your pocket, and then realizing, okay, what is going on right here? What was going on in my thoughts, my emotions, my body that maybe made me feel like I wanted that phone? Was it pure habit? Am I looking for something to create a feeling that I don't have right now? Am I escaping something I don't want to feel right now? And by taking this mindful approach, you're going to be able to use the digital detox to understand more about yourself and really elevate your ability to be aware and be conscious and use digital objects wisely. So once you give it a try, the real proof, the real benefit is going to come from long-term working through it. So choose a couple goals or one goal that you think is realistic and set yourself up for success. Plan it, put it in your schedule, put a note by your bed, by your refrigerator to remind you, get some accountability from others, and expect that there are going to be some setbacks. There's going to be times when you intended to stay away from anything digital and you found yourself in it. See that as an opportunity to learn. And whatever habits you're going to choose to implement, try to do it for a little while, at least a couple weeks, maybe even a month, so that you can see whatever progress there is. Whatever things you notice, big or small, even if you have slip-ups, but you can learn from them, try and give yourself credit for every little step, because these digital things have become so ingrained into our behavior and also into our psyche that it is going to be unusual, uncomfortable to start to separate from them and be wise about how we use them. So be kind to yourself along the way and let's go for it. I really encourage you to develop a really healthy relationship with all the technology in your life. And I would love to hear from you. If you have questions, comments, drop them down below. If it's something more private that relates to your life, your own mental health, you don't want to share it in the comments, then also my email address and my website is below. So if you want to connect with me away from the public eye, questions that feel more appropriate there, go for it. And until next time, be well.